Hi everyone, I'm back with some stories about some of my astral projections from 2016. This is when I was a beginner and I was trying stuff out, stuff was working, not working, and when I learned a lot of what I know today. I had a lot of time on my hands and I was practicing a lot. But of course, some periods in life are more conducive to this practice, and sometimes you just don't have enough time to wake up later or wake up in the middle of the night and not be tired the next day because you're going to work. And so the last astral projection I had is one I've already shared in a video on this channel. It's called my first intentional OBE, and I think this happened, it was at the end of September, maybe 1 or 2 days before the one I'm going to tell you about today. And so I was very happy, had some good success with the last astral projection, and I was practicing a lot because it was during the holidays. I had more mornings where I didn't have to wake up and I had more time on my hands, so I was practicing even if it made me tired. The thing is, it made me tired to practice a lot because you need the energy. You're waking up in the middle of the night or doing exercises late at night, or waking up several times throughout the night to try more than once. So if you're practicing astral projection during the night, it is going to make you tired. Even during the day, it's going to make you tired. You need the energy to do it. And so if you're practicing every day, that's one of the things you have to look out for. So I was so tired, I did not write any notes when coming back to my body. I came back to my body, I was tired, and I didn't write any notes. And I had 2 astral projections in the same night, and both times I was so tired. I'm like, oh, I'm gonna remember this. It's so, it's such a lucid experience. I can't forget this. And because you're a beginner, you think you can get away with stuff, but no, it's super important to write things down right after they happen. Second thing I learned. So being tired, not always a good thing. Writing things down after you've just experienced them is the best thing you can do for yourself to remember it later, especially if it happens during the night, especially if you fall asleep right after. So back then, I was working on a to-do list. I had a to-do list of things I wanted to do in the astral. I wanted to see my body, my physical body in bed. I wanted to see myself in the mirror. I wanted to try to shapeshift into other forms, like maybe into animal form, into like a super giant or a very small person, like whatever, like shapeshift my astral body. I also wanted to learn to do things in my astral body, like walk through walls, or maybe try to relocate, but not through flying, just through the thought process, like teleporting or something. I wanted to visit special places. I wanted to go to Egypt. Like supposedly the energy there is very intense. I still haven't been to this day. I wanted to go to Greece. I wanted to go to other places in the galaxy, like the Sirius A and B stars. Wanted to go see that. And then, I wanted to see some deceased loved ones. Of course, my grandfather, I wondered, was his spirit roaming around his house where my uncle lives now? I wondered. I wanted to go see that. So I had a super long to-do list of things I wanted to do in the astral. And I got to do some of those things in these astral projections. In the first astral projection, I do not remember leaving my body, but I was out of body inside my kitchen. A lot of my out of body experiences in the beginning happened in my home. I was in a condo building back then, and I would always get out of my bedroom and go directly to the kitchen. And in this experience, when I became lucid, I was already in the kitchen, so I don't have a recollection of me leaving my body. But in the kitchen, I was there with my daughter who lived with me back then. She was 16 years old. And I don't think I pulled her out, but we had talked about it because she was also practicing. And I had said, if ever I can try to pull you out, I'll pull you out. But I don't remember doing that. I just remember in this astral projection, she was with me and I was showing her things that I had already learned, like how to levitate and how to move around in your astral body. So I was a beginner. I had not done much. And so I was showing her what I knew. I think we might have put our hands through the wall. I didn't review that. But yeah, I think that's the time that we put our hands through the wall. But then we heard a noise. Something was going on outside our condo unit. And I went to see. I don't know why I didn't think to like move through the door and just look on the other side, but I just put my ear to the door, tried to listen to what was going on, and then I woke up in my body. And I was so tired, as I said, I didn't write anything down. I just said, oh, I need to go to bed. I'm going to remember this for sure. I went back to bed, fell asleep, and then I had a second out-of-body experience. In this second out-of-body experience, I lost lots of bits and pieces, but I do remember I had been checking off things from that to-do list. And so I had walked through a wall and a couple of other things I mentioned earlier. But the last thing I remember doing before I woke up was flying in. I had put my hands out like this, and I was flying upwards, straight upwards, but turning like a top, like with my arms like a helicopter. Like my arms were the helicopter wheel, you know? And so I was practicing things like that and super happy to be like just checking stuff off my list in the astral. So this astral projection was back in December 2016. And yeah, so I learned that if you're too tired, you might get experiences, but you might not remember your experiences completely or even bring them back. Now, some of you might wonder, did my daughter remember that she had astral projected with me? And when I asked her the next day, she said she didn't. That doesn't mean that she didn't astral project with me. It just means that her mind did not bring back the memory of this experience. And when you're tired, it's something that can really happen. Like your brain needs to be functional for you to, hold on to memories. You need to make it work a little. And so if you're too tired, maybe those functions are not at their best. And that's why I wouldn't recommend to do this if you're too tired, because you might have experiences, but if you're not bringing back the memory, what's the use of that? So I guess that's all I had to say about this astral projection. I hope you enjoyed it. And if you did, please thumbs up. Please subscribe if you like my content so you won't miss the next ones. And yeah, I'll see you in the next one. Thank you for watching.